5 seconds, 2 seconds, ready. Mr. Chairman, sir, I rise to support this bill to the extent it goes and to press my definite view that the scope of the bill requires to be widened. Being a new member, naturally I have a sense of hesitancy in speaking on a subject like this. All the same, I should like here to express my sense of gratification for having been allowed this opportunity to make my first speech here on a measure which seeks to extend the freedom of the press and by so extending the freedom of the press gives added opportunities and facilities to the people of our country to better shoulder the responsibilities of democracy. I do not propose to dwell at length on the legal and judicial aspects of this question. I am not a lawyer, not even a bad liar. After all the speeches that have been made in the other house and also after the speech by the distinguished mover of the bill here, it becomes unnecessary for me to dwell at length on the legal aspects. But I have been a journalist and a newspaper man all along, and with the practical experience of a journalist, I hasten to support this bill. What has been my experience as a journalist? Of course, I get the proceedings of Parliament, published reports of the proceedings of Parliament. I get the estimates committee reports and the public accounts committee reports, although after a considerable lapse of time. I scan the pages and I find so much well-deserved expose of the doings of officials, especially all sorts of shady transactions, how public money has been jumbled and that sort of thing. As a Democrat, as a journalist, I feel that this is a material which I must pass on to the readers, to the common people of the country, so that they can understand really how the affairs are being managed in this country, so that I can help to sharpen their sense of vigilance and so that they can be better custodians of their own rights. But then I cannot do it because as a newspaper man I do not enjoy the immunity which members of parliament enjoy. All this time the newspaper men have been smarting under this restraint. They cannot discharge their responsibilities to the public. They cannot educate public opinion on the affairs of this country. This has been so. We are no longer concerned with the police state. Our concepts regarding the state are changing. We are no longer concerned merely with the maintenance of law and order or a few officials or ministers. We are thinking of a social welfare state. We are talking of advancing towards socialism. All these mean that we are increasingly obliged to lay our hands on vested interest on the special privileges. We are enlarging the responsibilities and rights of the common people. When we lay our hands on special privileges and when we touch vested interest, it is quite natural that they have recourse to all sorts of devious ways just to perpetuate their special interest and cheat the public to gain their private ends to the detriment of the general interest of the society. Recently, we have had many instances in Parliament itself when the Companies Bill came up for consideration, when we had the affairs of the insurance magnates, when efforts were being made to have better control in the public interest of these corporations, institutions, etc., when we were thinking of enlarging the public sector, naturally we found vested interest restoring to all sorts of shady transactions and devious methods. Now, when in Parliament members make such well-deserved exposés, it is necessary that all this information must be passed on to the people of the country, to our electors through the medium of newspapers. If we conceal this information from the public, we will not be playing fair by the electoral. The honorable mover of the bill referred to the outstanding judgment in the Wanson versus Water case. I think it was in 1880, and ever since that outstanding Chief Justice judgment, the newspapers in the United Kingdom enjoy that right not only in respect of publication of the proceedings of Parliament, but even in respect of borough councils, country councils, etc. And I think in 1952 they got this protection insofar as publication of reports of even the parliaments of Commonwealth countries are concerned. From the pamphlet published here, I have come to understand that even in the United States of America, not only in regard to the publication of proceedings of the Congress, but also in regard to the state legislatures, this protection extends to newspaper men. The judgment of Cockburn was in 1860. It is almost 88 years now, and all this time the press in other countries has been enjoying this privilege. Now, if you pass this bill at this stage, as honorable members have remarked elsewhere, it does not come a day too soon.